5 unnoticed heart irregularities that happen at night. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and felt your heart beating in a way that just didn't seem right? Maybe it felt a little too fast, or maybe it skipped a beat, or even fluttered for a few seconds. Most people brush it off, thinking, "Oh, that's nothing, I'm just tired, I'll be fine." But here's the truth. Sometimes those unnoticed irregularities at night are small warnings that your heart is whispering to you. And if you ignore them, they can slowly turn into something much bigger. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 heart irregularities that often happen at night, the kind that many people never even notice until it's too late. By the time you finish watching, you'll understand what they are, why they happen, and most importantly, what you can do about them. And here's the best part. I'm not just giving you medical terms or dry explanations. I'm going to show you how these small changes at night connect to your energy, your memory, and even your future health. You might already know some of them. They might even seem basic, but the results of truly understanding them and acting on them are absolutely out of this world. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have one powerful insight that could literally change the way you think about your heart at night. The first irregularity: nighttime palpitations. Have you ever noticed your heart suddenly racing while you're lying in bed, even when you're not moving? This is called nighttime palpitations. For many people, it feels like your heart is pounding out of your chest. It might last just a few seconds and then it goes away. You might even smile and think, "That was odd," before rolling back to sleep. But palpitations are your heart's way of saying, "Pay attention to me." At night, your body slows down. Your breathing, blood pressure, and nervous system all shift gears. That's when little imbalances like dehydration, too much caffeine earlier in the day, or even hidden stress can reveal themselves. And your heart responds with these sudden, racing beats. The problem is, many older adults don't even mention this to their doctor. They think it's too small, or they're worried about being dismissed. But research shows that recurring nighttime palpitations can sometimes signal atrial fibrillation, a condition linked to stroke and memory loss. Don't panic though. Having palpitations once in a while doesn't mean something terrible is happening. It simply means your body is giving you information. And when you know how to listen, you can take steps that protect your heart for years to come. Stay with me, because the second irregularity is one that hides in plain sight, and most people confuse it with simple fatigue. The second irregularity: unexplained nighttime fatigue. Imagine this. You go to bed early, you sleep a full night, but when you wake up, you feel exhausted, like you barely slept at all. That's not just age catching up with you. Sometimes it's your heart. When the heart doesn't pump efficiently at night, oxygen delivery drops. That means your brain and muscles don't recharge properly. You might think you're just having a bad sleep, but your heart may be struggling to maintain rhythm while you're in deep rest. That's why some seniors wake up feeling drained, even though their eyes were closed for 7 or 8 hours. Doctors often call this a silent irregularity, because it hides under the label of sleep problems. People blame the mattress, the room temperature, or even late-night snacks. But in reality, the heart might be beating too slowly or skipping beats during certain sleep stages. This matters because low nighttime circulation is linked to memory fog, poor concentration, and a higher risk of falls during the day. Your energy isn't just about sleep. It's about how well your heart is doing its job while you rest. So if you're feeling unusually tired in the mornings, don't brush it off. Write it down. Keep track. Because when you see the bigger picture, you'll start noticing patterns you can actually do something about. Coming up next, the third irregularity often goes unnoticed because it happens while you're completely still. The third irregularity, silent heart pauses. One of the scariest irregularities at night isn't loud or dramatic, it's silence. Sometimes the heart pauses for a few beats, almost like it's holding its breath. You don't wake up, you don't feel it, but your body does. These pauses can trigger tiny drops in oxygen levels. For most people, they're harmless and rare, but when they happen frequently, they can create long-term strain. Doctors call this condition bradyarrhythmia, and it's much more common after age 60. The tricky part is you won't notice it unless you have a sleep study or wear a heart monitor overnight. Some people only discover it after complaining of dizziness during the day or unexplained chest pressure. Others find out after a fall or fainting episode. Why does this happen? At night, your vagus nerve, responsible for calming the body, becomes more active. That's a good thing. But in some people, it slows the heart too much, creating these silent pauses. Now, here's the hopeful part. Just knowing this exists means you can ask the right questions. If you've been experiencing morning headaches, foggy thinking, or sudden weakness, don't ignore them. They could be clues your heart is whispering to you. Stay tuned because the fourth irregularity is one that often gets dismissed as simple restlessness. The fourth irregularity, restless heartbeats during dreams. Have you ever had a vivid dream only to wake up feeling like your heart was jumping around in your chest? That's not just your imagination. Your heart responds to dream cycles, especially REM sleep, almost like it's living inside the story with you. During REM, your body is paralyzed, but your brain is extremely active. Your heart rate and blood pressure fluctuate wildly, mirroring your dream intensity. Sometimes that causes irregular bursts of heartbeats, almost like mini roller coasters. For younger people, this isn't usually a big deal, but for seniors, these dream-driven fluctuations can uncover hidden rhythm problems. Think of it like stress testing the heart while you're asleep. If there's any weakness in your rhythm control, REM will expose it. What's more, these irregularities often lead to sudden awakenings, night sweats, or even feelings of panic for no obvious reason. Many seniors chalk it up to nightmares, but the real cause might be the heart working overtime. This is why sleep quality is so closely tied to heart health. If you wake up often from dreams feeling unsettled, it's not just about stress. It's your body asking for a closer look. Up next, we'll explore the fifth irregularity, one that connects directly to breathing at night, and it might surprise you. The fifth and final unnoticed irregularity is when your heartbeat skips during sleep. It often happens alongside sleep apnea, when breathing temporarily stops. Every time your airway collapses, your heart has to catch up, creating skipped or uneven beats. Here's the danger. Many seniors think loud snoring or gasping is just a nuisance, but every pause in breathing puts pressure on the heart. Over time, this constant stress can lead to high blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, or even heart failure. The scary part? You might not even know it's happening. Family members notice the snoring. You might notice morning headaches or dry mouth, but the skipped beats stay hidden unless you track them. The good news is, once this irregularity is detected, treatments like CPAP, weight adjustments, or even simple breathing exercises can reduce the strain almost immediately. And when your heart isn't fighting to correct skipped beats all night, you wake up more energized, focused, and steady on your feet. So, those are the 5 unnoticed irregularities. But stay with me, because in the next part of this video, we'll dive deeper into what they actually mean for your day-to-day life. If you're still watching right now, type 1 in the comments so I know you're paying attention. Why these irregularities hide at night? Now that we've uncovered the 5 unnoticed irregularities, let's take a moment to ask, why do they show up at night? The answer is simple, yet powerful. Your heart is most exposed when everything else is at rest. During the day, your movements, emotions, and activities keep your cardiovascular system active. Little irregularities can get lost in all that noise. But at night, when the body is quiet, those whispers from your heart grow louder. Think of it like a house. During the day, when the TV is on and people are talking, you don't notice the tiny creaks in the floorboards. But at midnight, when it's silent, every little sound echoes. That's exactly how your heart works while you're sleeping. This is why doctors often recommend overnight monitoring or sleep studies. It's not about catching you at your weakest. It's about seeing your heart in its most natural state. And here's the key point. Once you learn to connect those nighttime clues with your daily energy, you start building a roadmap to better health. In the next segment, we'll talk about how even the timing of these irregularities at night can predict certain health risks. Timing matters. Early versus late night irregularities. Not all nighttime heart issues mean the same thing. The timing, whether it happens early in the night, during deep sleep, or toward morning, can reveal different stories. Early night palpitations often connect to stress, caffeine, or even heavy dinners. They're your heart's way of saying, I'm still working overtime. If you notice racing beats soon after lying down, lifestyle adjustments might help. On the other hand, irregularities that happen in the middle of the night, especially during deep sleep, can hint at underlying circulation problems. That's when oxygen delivery is critical, and any drop can ripple through your brain and body. Then there are irregularities close to dawn. These can be especially risky because your body is preparing to wake up, blood pressure naturally rises, and your heart is under more strain. For some people, that's when strokes and heart attacks are most likely. So paying attention to when you feel or hear about your irregularities can help doctors zero in on causes. Write them down. Keep a small journal by your bedside. It's simple, but it's one of the most overlooked steps to protecting your heart. Next, let's explore how these irregularities quietly affect your memory and focus. How nighttime irregularities impact memory. Have you noticed yourself forgetting things more often? Maybe you walk into a room and forget why you're there, or you struggle to recall names that used to come easily. Many people assume it's just age, but your heart at night plays a bigger role than you think. When irregular beats disrupt oxygen flow to the brain, even for seconds, your memory circuits feel the impact. It's like flicking the lights on and off in a room, brief interruptions that confuse the system. Over time, those interruptions add up. Researchers now know that poor heart rhythm at night is linked to increased risk of dementia and cognitive decline. But here's the encouraging part. When these irregularities are addressed, memory often improves. I've seen older adults regain sharper thinking, better focus, and even more confidence simply because their nighttime heart health was stabilized. It's not magic, it's biology.
So, if you've been struggling with memory lapses, don't just blame age. Think about your nights. Your brain and heart are more connected than you realize. Next, we'll look at how these irregularities affect balance and physical safety during the day. Irregularities and daytime safety. One of the biggest hidden dangers of nighttime irregularities shows up when the sun is out: your balance. When your heart isn't steady at night, your body doesn't recharge the way it should. That means weaker muscles, slower reflexes, and dizziness when standing. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury in seniors. And many of those falls don't just come from weak legs, they come from weak circulation. If your brain isn't getting steady oxygen at night, your sense of balance suffers during the day. The heartbreaking part, many older adults blame themselves. They think, "I'm clumsy now, I'm just getting old." But in reality, it's often their heart asking for help. The solution isn't only balance training, it's also addressing what happens in your sleep. When your nighttime rhythm is stable, your body recharges fully, giving you more steadiness and strength. So, if you've had close calls with tripping or sudden dizziness, don't brush it off. It might be your heart telling you to look deeper. Next, we'll talk about how stress during the day actually worsens nighttime irregularities. The stress connection. Here's something fascinating. Your heart doesn't just work on its own. It responds to your emotions, especially stress. Have you ever gone to bed after a tense day and found your heart pounding while you were trying to fall asleep? That's because stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline linger in your system. And when your body finally relaxes, your heart is left juggling those leftover chemicals. For seniors, this can mean more palpitations, skipped beats, and restless sleep. It's not just in your head, it's in your bloodstream. The good news is, even small relaxation rituals can lower nighttime irregularities. Deep breathing before bed, listening to calming music, writing down worries in a notebook so your mind doesn't carry them to bed. And here's a little secret. People who practice relaxation before sleep often notice fewer irregular beats, and they wake up with more energy. So yes, stress during the day shows up in your heartbeat at night, and when you lower one, you help the other. Up next, how diet and hydration play a direct role in these irregularities.
Diet, hydration, and nighttime heart health. Your heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it needs the right fuel. That's why what you eat and drink directly shapes your heartbeat at night. Too much caffeine, alcohol, or sugar late in the day can trigger palpitations. Heavy dinners force your body to work overtime, making the heart race when it should be resting. On the flip side, not drinking enough water during the day leads to dehydration, which thickens your blood and makes the heart pump harder at night. But here's the encouraging part. Small changes make big differences. Replacing late coffee with herbal tea. Choosing lighter dinners with more vegetables and lean protein. Drinking water steadily throughout the day instead of guzzling before bed. I've seen people reduce nighttime irregularities within just a week of tweaking their diet and hydration. It's that powerful. So the next time your heart feels unsettled at night, don't just think about medications. Think about what you ate, drank, or skipped. Your choices are the signals your heart responds to. Coming up, we'll talk about how movement and exercise during the day reduce irregularities at night. Movement and the nighttime heart. It may surprise you,
but your heart's nighttime rhythm is influenced by how much you move during the day. When seniors live a mostly sedentary lifestyle, their cardiovascular system doesn't get the exercise it needs to stay flexible. That stiffness often shows up at night. On the other hand, gentle daily movement like walking, stretching, or light yoga creates smoother rhythms while you sleep. It trains your heart to handle stress better, so nighttime fluctuations aren't as sharp. And you don't need to run marathons. Even a 20-minute walk after dinner can balance your heart for the night. Pair that with deep breathing, and you're giving your heart a head start. Many people over 60 think it's too late to make a difference with exercise, but studies prove the opposite. Your heart loves movement at every age. The benefits start showing up almost immediately, especially in your sleep. So if your nights feel restless, ask yourself, did I move enough today? Chances are your heart is waiting for you to take that next step. Up next, we'll discuss how doctors detect these irregularities and why you shouldn't wait until it's urgent. How doctors detect nighttime irregularities. The truth is, most people never know about their irregularities until something goes wrong. But today, detection tools are easier than ever. Doctors can use Holter monitors, small devices you wear for 24 to 48 hours to track your heartbeat around the clock. They can also recommend sleep studies that measure both breathing and rhythm overnight. Even consumer devices like smartwatches can now detect skipped beats or unusual rhythms while you sleep. While they're not perfect, they can give you valuable early warnings. Here's the key. Don't wait until you faint, fall, or feel chest pain. If you've noticed nighttime palpitations, unusual fatigue, or restless awakenings, mention them to your doctor. Early detection doesn't just save lives, it improves quality of life. Seniors who treat irregularities often feel younger, sharper, and more active than they have in years. So don't let fear hold you back. Knowing the truth gives you power. Next, we'll shift into what you can start doing tonight to protect your heart while you sleep. What you can do tonight. You don't have to wait for a doctor's appointment to take action. Tonight, there are simple steps you can try to calm your heart while you sleep. First, set a consistent bedtime. Your heart thrives on a routine. Second, create a sleep environment that's cool, dark, and quiet. Third, avoid heavy meals, alcohol, or sugar within 4 hours of bed. Add in 5 minutes of slow breathing before you turn off the lights. Inhale gently through your nose, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly through your mouth. This signals your nervous system to calm your heartbeat. And here's one more tip. Write down how you feel when you wake up. Tracking your mornings is one of the best ways to spot irregularities you can't feel at night. These aren't just tricks. They're lifestyle adjustments that give your heart a fighting chance. If you've made it this far into the video, type 2 in the comments below. That tells me you're serious about your heart health. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this with someone who could use it. Next, we'll reveal how partners and family members can help detect irregularities you might miss.
How loved ones notice what you can't. Sometimes the people around you notice things before you do. Maybe your spouse hears you gasp or snore at night. Maybe your grandchild mentions you seemed restless while napping. These little observations matter. Loved ones often witness the irregularities we're blind to. They might hear pauses in your breathing, notice you toss and turn, or even feel your racing heartbeat when lying next to you. Instead of brushing off their comments, take them seriously. Encourage your family to share what they see or hear.
And write it down. These are valuable clues for your doctor. When seniors bring family observations to medical visits, doctors often catch irregularities faster. What seems like nothing to you may be the missing piece of the puzzle. So don't think of heart health as a solo journey. It's something your circle can help protect. And the more open you are, the safer and calmer your nights will become. Up next, we'll explore the mindset shift that makes handling irregularities less scary and more empowering. A new way of thinking about irregularities. Here's the truth. Noticing irregularities at night can feel frightening. Many people avoid the topic because they don't want to face bad news. But let's reframe it. Instead of seeing these signs as threats, see them as early warnings. Your body's not betraying you, it's giving you a head start. Most serious heart problems don't appear out of nowhere. They build quietly, and nighttime irregularities are often the first clue. This is why awareness is your greatest strength. By paying attention now, you're buying yourself more time, more energy, and more confidence. It's not about fear, it's about control. Think of it like a smoke alarm. Would you rather know when there's a small spark or wait until the fire spreads? The earlier you know, the safer you are. So the next time your heart feels off at night, instead of brushing it aside, tell yourself, this is my chance to get ahead of the problem. And speaking of chances, in the next segment, I'll share the most optimal method to protect your heart at night, the strategy that ties everything we've discussed together. So what's the single most effective way to protect yourself from unnoticed nighttime irregularities? It's a 3-part method: track, share, and act. Track your nights. Keep a small journal of when you wake up, how rested you feel, and any unusual sensations. Even 2 lines a night can reveal patterns. Share what you notice. Talk to loved ones and bring those observations to your doctor. Don't keep it to yourself. Your story might be the key to faster answers. Act on the information. Whether it's improving your diet, moving more, or following medical guidance, don't delay. Small steps today prevent big problems tomorrow. This method is simple, but it's the most powerful because it combines awareness, support, and action. And remember, you might already know some of these tips. They might even sound basic, but when you put them into practice, the results are out of this world. Now, here's my challenge for you. If this video gave you even one valuable insight, type 2 in the comments, hit subscribe, like this video, and share it with a friend or family member. You never know whose life you might change. Your heart is speaking at night. The question is, are you ready to listen?